In this video we're going to take a look at a feature of Excel called conditional formatting. Conditional formatting changes the formatting of the contents, changes the formatting of a cell based on the content of the cell. So you might have low numbers formatted one way, middle numbers formatted another way, and high numbers formatted another way. So that's basically what conditional formatting is. To get to it, it's on the Home tab, and it is in the Styles group here on the button called Conditional Formatting. And what we're going to do is we're going to select the data that we want to format, and let's scroll back up to the top here, and let's go to conditional formatting, and we've got a bunch of options, and the first one we're going to look at is the data bars option, and basically these are all the same, just minor variations. You can do a gradient, and the options here just change the color. Or you can do a solid fill, which is exactly the same thing, except the bars are filled in with a solid value all the way across. So what Excel does is it looks at the numbers that are in the column, and if there is a number in there that is big relative to the rest of the numbers, then it gets a long bar. If there's a number in there that is small relative to the rest of the numbers, then it gets a short bar. So let's just let's do a gradient here. I think it makes the numbers a little bit easier to read. And let me click off of the data there, and there you go. Now you just kind of look at it, and you can easily tell the big numbers from the small numbers by looking at a picture instead of actually looking at the numeric value. Okay, let's go back and reselect these, and let's go to conditional formatting and see what some of our other options are. There's also a color scales option, and this will do, actually before we do that, let's go and clear we'll just clear the entire sheet here. Otherwise we're going to have two types of formatting at the same time. It's going to be hard to read. Color scales. So you can assign colors based on the value that's in the cell. And in this case it looks like the low numbers are going to be red and the high numbers are going to be green and the middle ones are going to be yellow. Here it just reverses them. Here we've got red and blue. Okay, now, and here we've got, you know, red for small and white for high, and then we reverse it over here, and then we do the same thing with green, and then green and yellow. And I'm not a big fan of this one because it's kind of hard to remember which color is which, and I don't think it really makes it a whole lot easier to figure out what's going on. There's another option called icon sets, and it puts a little icon in there, and we've got choices of usually 3, 4, or 5 different icons that can go in a cell, and you can use arrows, you can do colored shapes, and we get a live preview here on every one of these. So that's an option. And another option, we're going to skip the top and bottom, but we're going to go to highlight cells rules, and let's say I want to find out let's say these are averages for the semester, and I want to know who's failing or in danger of failing. So I can go here and say show me all of the values that are less than a particular value, and let's say that I want anybody who's less than, say, 70. Okay, and the default is light red fill with dark red text, which you can see is being previewed over here right now. There's yellow fill with dark yellow text, and green with dark green, light red fill, and several presets here. But there's also a custom, and you can change the font, you can change the font style, you can change the font name, which I don't think would really help a whole lot, but you can make them bold, for example. Let's say you want the color to be red, you can pick the color. You can pick the border, but the border really, you know, that doesn't stand out all that much either unless you make it kind of a thick border. And you can also change the fill color. So let's say I wanted kind of a, you know, dark red on a pink, and click on OK here. And now if I click off of there, every one of the numbers that is less than 70 is now highlighted, And furthermore, this is like anything else in Excel. If I change the number, it automatically changes the formatting. So if I change this 81 here to a 60 and hit the enter key, then that automatically gets formatted with the bold red text on the pink background. And you can also, you can apply multiple formatting rules here. Let's go back and let's add another one. Let's say I want to see the ones that are at the top. So I want to see everybody out there who is greater than, let's say 85. Okay, and now we should make them some obviously different color. Let's go to the font here, and we'll make those shade of blue. And for the fill color, let's do a light blue on those as well, and click on OK. And click on OK, and now if I click off of my selected data over here, it's real easy to see the low scores are the pink with the red, and the high scores are the blue background with the blue text. And let's go back here and we'll turn all of that off. Those are the basics, though. We're not going to really take a look at this one, although it's pretty obvious what it does. With highlight cells rules, you've got a bunch of choices here. You don't, I did greater than and less than, but you can also pick any one of these other options here and then have the data formatted according to your wishes. And let's go back here, and one more thing before we quit is let's just clear all of these from the entire sheet, and now we're back to where we were before. So that's how conditional formatting works in Excel.